What up, it's Dane here. In this video I'm going to be showing you my full workout routine when doing intermittent fasting, and a routine that you can follow as well. And I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff that you may need to change or that you're doing wrong, because a lot of people are doing these things wrong, so make sure it's not you. So watch the video to the end for full value. Stay positive. Let's get into the video. I'm fired up. Okay, so as you can see here, we're starting with the military press. And when I do the military press, you need to squeeze your glutes, really attack the bar in the first rep. And after that, the next step I'd probably tell you to do is keep your upper back real tight. And then the last step finally is really squeeze the bar when you do this exercise. Now the reason you're going to see me do 2 compound exercises in my routine is because when I'm doing deficit, when I'm trying to diet, when I'm trying to get shredded, I'm always trying to maintain weight on the bar, progressive tension overload. Without maintaining weight on the bar and your strength decreases very fast, I bet your muscle will decrease very fast as well. It's basically correlated for a natural lifter. So number 1, mechanical tension. You need to be working in a rep range of about 3 to 6, especially for compound exercises as well. Now here I'm doing the dumbbell 1-arm row, and my form, as you can see, it does go out the window a little bit, but what I'm really trying to do is just pull with my elbow as much as I can, keep my back straight. But like I said, because I'm working small rep ranges here, the form does go a little bit, so don't worry if that happens too much. When you train for mechanical tension, aka strength, that will generally happen, but just keep the best technique that you can. So what I do in my routine, and what I suggest a lot of people do, and this again is backed by scientific research, right? You should not always go to failure. I don't suggest this, because if you go to failure every single time, you will get very fatigued, and your volume load, which is your sets times your reps, will decrease, which is very important for hypertrophy. And now we can see here I'm doing the seated row. Again, my isolation exercise is coming in to activate metabolic stress. So I have mechanical tension, aka getting stronger, metabolic stress. Now I'm working in a higher rep range for about 8 to 12 2-minute rest, whereas I did 5 minutes rest on our compound exercises when I'm training for strength. So here I have a shorter rest, really chase the pump. And when I'm doing the seated row, I really try to squeeze, again, my elbows back and keep my neck back as well. So here we have some rest pulls, lateral raises, another isolation exercises, and you wouldn't guess it, but it's the last exercise. I only have 4 exercises. And like I always say, you need to reduce the amount of work you're doing, aka volume, which is sets times your reps. You will need to reduce that when you're in calorie deficit and really focus on maintaining your strength. I recommend doing about 80 sets per muscle group. That works for most people. Anything lower than that, you're probably going to lose some muscle. And just keep in mind, you do need a little bit of pump work in there, but maintaining the weight on a bar is critical. And when I'm doing these lateral raises, as you can see, my pinkies are kind of facing up like I'm pouring milk from a cup downwards. That's really going to activate more of the lateral delt. And a lot of people say, oh, do lateral delt raises in order for your shoulders to pop. Okay, yeah, they'll grow a bit more, but it is aesthetically, like your body structure, also depends how your body looks, how your shoulders pop, so keep that in mind. And the reason why I'm doing rest pause training here is because firstly, I was in a rush. Secondly, it allows me to get more of a pump. So yeah, that's the lateral raises. I'll switch between the rear delt and lateral raises as well. Okay, so that's it. To conclude, let me summarize this for you, right? So first of all, if you liked the video, like the damn video now, drop a comment, don't leave me hanging. So let me summarize. In order to maintain muscle mass while on a diet, these have to happen, these 3 things. Number 1, have sufficient protein intake. Have a protein intake of about 1 to, let's say, 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. This is excessive. You can probably get away with 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, depending on how big your calorie deficit is. Remember that. The bigger your calorie deficit, the faster the fat loss, the more chance of muscle gain, hence why muscle loss, hence why your protein intake needs to be increased. That's step number 1, protein intake. Step number 2, good strength training program. A lot of people don't even track their workouts God knows what the fuck they're doing. So anyway, strength training program, good one. What's a good one? Good one has compound exercises, focusing on mechanical tension, maintaining strength most of the time. You don't always need to do, you know, strength work on compound exercises, but most of the time you should be doing that when you're in calorie deficit. Maintain the strength on the bar, the load on the bar. So a good strength training program will have that in. The second thing we'll have on it is, or in it, is volume load. Now, your progressive tension overload needs to be maintained, or it's not going to be overload because you're going to maintain it. But let's just say mechanical tension in there. Step number 2, metabolic stress, which is chasing a pump. Step number 3, muscle damage, which links into metabolic stress. Now, I was talking about volume load. Volume load needs to be in there. Now, what volume load basically means is sets times reps times load. Of course it is in there, but you need to be aware of it. Meaning, let's say you do, I don't know, 20 sets per muscle group. Let's just use volume for this example. So a lot of people will do a lot of volume when they're dieting. I don't know why, just to get cut, bro, get the shreds in. Meanwhile, they're just burning their CNS, their nervous system out. They cannot recover. They're training to failure every single time, and they'll just burn out. So what do you need to do? You need to decrease your volume. Do about 8 sets per muscle group. For most people, some people can tolerate more volume. That's a lot of genetic difference. So that's step number 2. Step number 1, protein. Step number 2, good strength training program. Now step number 3, to get shredded, to get ripped. I don't give a fuck what diet you do. You could do a ketogenic diet, the African diet, Jamaican diet. I don't care what diet you do. The ketogenic diet is so overhyped at the moment. Like, yeah, all those diets, they do the same fucking thing when it comes to aesthetics. They create a calorie deficit. When it comes to health benefits, I don't know about that shit, that's not my lane. But when it comes to aesthetic, losing fat, they do one thing, that's create a calorie deficit. Quote by Dane. So that's it. Sufficient protein intake, create a calorie deficit, and have a good strength training program, maintaining the weight on a bar, reducing the volume, keeping the training frequency the same as you've done before in order to build muscle, or reduce it, which I typically recommend, but you can keep it the same as long as the volume is reduced and you can recover properly to increase your strength, or at least maintain it, which will happen later in the cut. So I've just given you secret gems. If you don't like this video, you are insane. Stay positive, stay smiling. Share this with your friends if they're interested on dieting and I don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these. I'm out. I'm shredded, bro. Let's get it. Oh man, the lighting was shit. Let me get the light right.
No, there ain't no stopping us.